What is the multiverse? That's a good question, ladies and gentlemen. It is a universe of multiple universes that are actually very different from each other. And some of which are parallels to others, some of which are completely identical to each other, but just some things are certainly different here and there. I've actually talked about the multiverse several times on my show on countless occasions. Yes. Right here on the Fearox Frank channel, we have actually talked about the multiverse a few times as it is. As if the what if scenarios, if they did actually, if they never happened here, they probably happened out there somewhat amongst the multiverse. For example, the Nicolas Cage Superman movie that Tim Burton wanted to direct may actually have happened someplace in the multiverse. The Beyond the American Godzilla film may have actually happened within the multiverse somewhere. Well, especially in the 1983 American Godzilla film that never got made. Apparently, somewhere out there in the multiverse. Yes. And also, the Willis O'Brien fan film he wanted to make, King Kong versus Frankenstein or King Kong versus Prometheus, may have happened out there in the multiverse. Yes. However, nowadays the multiverse is actually just down to a bunch of like Marvel and DC films trying to copy everything over. I mean, hell, give the Flash film a lot of credit. That movie almost destroyed the multiverse. Well, the DC multiverse, anyway. But anyway, a lot of people are assuming the fact that the multiverse is actually one singular entity, like one singular universe itself that has multiple universes. People, I am terribly sorry. Let me explain this. The way the multiverse works is the multiverse is a plethora. I'm going to repeat that. A plethora of multiverses. Yes, DC, Marvel, Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, Power Rangers, every freaking cinematic film out there, ever even imagine. There's even a horror film universe that actually has Evil Dead, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and Hellraiser, all in that same universe, all in that same multiverse, and some of which are actually within the same universe, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's how the multiverse works. It's multiverses upon multiverses. Yeah, there's multiple multiverses out there. Hence why we have the cosmos. Not, however, I say cosmos with a K, not the C. With C is another variation of the universe. So when I say cosmos, I mean it with a K. The cosmos is a plethora is a multiverse of multiverses. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it works. And sometimes they interact with each other. Like sometimes some of the multiverses intertwine with each other, which is really fucking weird. But today's movie, and nowadays people are really getting sick and tired of the whole multiverse thing. Well, what if I were to tell you there was actually a film based upon the multiverse that came out way before all this was even popular? In fact, it actually puts it puts the MCU shit to shame. As a matter of fact, joking aside, it's a movie that should actually be remade, which is kind of weird. But it's actually a short action film from the early 2000s with a bunch of rock songs from that time period too, and it stars Jet Li. What, you don't remember what the movie is? Allow me to introduce you to Jet Li in The One. Yeah, that's right. The One. Uh, uh, Jet Li is the person. Jet Li actually roams the multiverse, and we are going to talk about the movie The One. God damn it, I have to do everything by myself here. Yeah, sorry about that long introduction. Apparently, Rex is still actually recuperating from Resident Evil 8. And he's going to do some other game that's actually a little bit more peaceful, technically, because apparently the first, like going to the first village section was a little too much for him. And well, Joe right now is actually going through the A list again. He's got like three more movies to go, three more movie characters to go through, or maybe a book character or a video game character. I honestly don't give a flying fuck. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about the movie The One, starring Jet Li. And as you can see here, it's actually part of a double pack. It actually includes The One and, of course, Legend of Red Dragon. Both good martial arts movies. Okay, if you want like a better storyline, you're better off with the Red Dragon film. But if you want some completely batshit insanity, you're gonna watch The One. Now, what is The One about? Well, as it says right here, it says in order to save the universe, he will have to fight the fiercest enemy he has ever faced, himself. That's right. We have Jet Li versus Jet Li. It's fucking weird, okay? It's a very, very weird film, all right? Also was made by the also the director was actually the director of the first Final Destination movie too. Wow. That's something I would have never have guessed. Huh. Go figure. Huh. Well, either way, let's talk about the movie The One. What's it about exactly? Well, technically, it's about this. Jet Li must actually stop, well, himself from destroying the multiverse. But anyway, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get this thing over with, though. The movie basically starts off with a introduction to the multiverse, with, of course, a narrator saying that there's more than one. There's not just one universe. There are many. There's not just one you. There are many. And there is this force that, and of course, there's actually something we find out later on in the movie that it's not just one. We actually find something else about this. One, apparently, we actually have a force, a life stream. We all are connected by a via life stream or something, which is something that the MCU and the DC, it was something the MCU and DC never actually talked about. But all of our life strands are actually are held together by a certain life stream, a divine energy. Like they're all connected via divine energy that connects all of us together. So so every variant of yourself is connected to each other by this energy. Uh, However, if one actually dies, the energy divides amongst the survivors, and thus we have this one person going around the entire multiverse killing all of its variants. Why? Because he wants to become the one. Why? Because he will be unstoppable. He will be a god by comparison. And of course, there's some people that think he may explode or implode, but most people actually will find out the fact that when he actually does kill off his final variant, he will become the one and become an all powerful god. Well, sort of, mostly like a person with godlike abilities, or just one powerful super being. That's basically what the whole thing is all about. So, that being said, let's get started with the movie, shall we? After the opening narration, we actually see we're actually now in a police department, a high security police station, where we see a bunch of LA police department officers actually gearing up in riot gear and arming themselves up. And what is it for? A prison transfer. And we get a slight introduction of President Gore on the television. Yeah, President Gore on the television. How nice. Anyway, we see that the prisoner that everyone's yelling for a prisoner to die, and the prisoner's name is Lawless. So we see who this prisoner is, and Lawless is Jet Li. Ah, and Jet Li's the star of the movie. So this is the character we're going to be following, right? Well, it's a cold-blooded killer. Well, he's a cold-blooded killer anyway, so he's probably not going to survive. Epic foreshadowing. Mind you. So they actually try to take him out of there. One prisoner actually throws a knife at him, though. He throws a knife at him though, but he grabs the knife and actually kicks the cell bars, and there's actually a massive dent in the cell bars. Yeah, something that the cops actually did not even notice. So anyway, they get him actually into the in the parking garage, and then you see him say, "Something's wrong." So and the lights go out. Bang! He gets shot in the head. But anyway, all the cops start shooting at the vents, and they stop firing, and Lawless is dead. Uh, okay. Wait, we're not even 5 minutes in. You just killed the main character off. What the hell? Why would you do that exactly? So yeah, the cops start shooting the vents again because apparently there shouldn't be anybody in there because there's razor wire in there. There's no blood or anything. But apparently there's somebody in there, and they shoot the cop. That person shoots the cops again. That person pops out of the vents, and it's Jet Li again. So I'm guessing we're going to be following this Jet Li. Then again, folks, this is the multiverse. All right, so yeah, it's another Jet Li. All right, this Jet Li, he's one of the main characters. His name is Yulaw, and yeah, and through a very interesting fight scene with slow mo and speed up motions. Yeah, we're doing the whole Matrix slowdown thing again. Well, he does like some superpower moves where he's actually beating the shit out of all the cops. He actually absorbs the energy from Lawless. At least that's what it's intended to look like. He sees Lawless's body and he just goes, "Shot," and he rightfully beats the shit out of all the cops. All this in slow mo, mind you. So, yeah, so apparently they did this. By the way, I should mention how they did the scene was they actually had Jet Li with a bunch of balls hanging in the air, and he actually just did all the moves, and they actually just computer generated the cops in there, and he just rightfully beat the shit out of every one of them, and he's just way too strong for them. Oh, and each shot he does is a kill shot. So the cops run after the guy, and he is running so fast he's doing 50 miles now. He's doing 50 miles an hour. No, I'm not even joking. He's literally running so fast. Some guy had a speedometer out, and he's going, "Holy shit! He's doing 50!" And he's jumping from side to side to side. He's just over a lamppost, and actually they collided in each other, and he runs away. But he's being chased by by two other officers that are not from this universe. They're from the MVA, the Multiverse Agency. And who are these guys? Well, I'll put it this way: these guys are much more confident than those jerk offs the TVA from the MCU. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, trust me, I went there. Unlike the MCU, these guys actually don't destroy unauthorized universes because that's a fucking stupid thing. That's beyond the stupidest thing to fucking do ever. Yeah, really fucking stupid. Yeah, seriously, the MCU they fucked up. Actually, no, I'm just gonna say it. Marvel fucked up on this one completely. At least with these guys, they're more competent. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, they're actually being led by two guys. One of them is actually being played by Jason Statham, named Futch. He's a new guy, and we have who's the other guy? It's a Delroy Lindo. You may remember him from like Romeo Must Die, even though I haven't reviewed it yet. But the movie came out before this film did. So yeah, and he plays Rodecker, and they're both after Yulaw. They actually get to Yulaw, and they actually stop him before he's able to jump to another universe. How you say? Well, quite simple. The ideal strategy is that Futch actually keeps a gun on him, and he holds him there, while Yulaw can literally beat the shit out of him really easily. It's like, so you must be the new guy. Where's Rodecker? Get your hands above your head. Why would I do that? Just do it. The cops show up. Hey, you freeze! You drop that weapon! There's my hands up. You're the one. I am going to kill you if you move. No, you won't. Where's Rodecker? Rodecker hits him with a fucking car out of nowhere. No, seriously, out of nowhere, like right behind him. He actually goes right through a garage and hits him with a car. And then they actually teleport out of there in the weirdest effect ever when they all just have a spasm attack. Like, vroom, right from the multiverse into the main alpha universes where they're from. And they promptly arrest Yulaw. Yeah. And that was like in the first it was like in the first 10 minutes, folks. Jesus. Oy, we got like 90 minutes of this shit. Anyway, Yulaw gets tried and convicted for over 123 murders of all of his variants. Yeah, so he killed all of his variants, which was like 123 times. Although, to be fair, if this was extremely more accurate, the number would actually be a lot more higher because you have to keep this because you have to take into account there's actually more. The number would probably be maybe 123 times more higher than that because it's the multiverse after all. There's like millions, there's like thousands of other universes out there, so it could have been. It's supposed to be much more higher than anything else. But they do give like a somewhat valid explanation a little bit that there's actually in some universes like they don't even have the same person in there, so that person doesn't exist in that universe. Okay, that makes sense. Now, apparently, Rodecker and Yulaw actually have a relation with each other because they used to be partners. There's like an entire backstory to it, though, and here's the backstory. It turns out Yulaw was actually worked for the agency, and here's his backstory. He was trying to defend one of his other variants from another variant of himself. In order to save the other variant, he killed the evil variant, and the energy just transferred amongst the survivors. And apparently, after what that happened, he got a little power hungry, and he wanted to continue the legacy. And just he actually got a high. He actually got a massive murder high, and he decides to kill all the other variants to actually make himself stronger. And he's been doing this for almost 2 years now. Yeah, he's been doing it for 2 years. It's like completely insane. Yeah, he killed all of his variants, and not only did he kill his other variants, he killed countless other civilians and other people just trying to get to his variants. So his actual murder count is much more higher than you can imagine. It's got to be over maybe like 123 murders. Well, you might want to add about maybe 23, maybe add 2,400 other victims to go along with that. You pretty much get the idea how much of a psychotic murderer this guy is. Oh, yeah. But it's not just that. He is actually scheduled to be not executed, but actually transferred to a penal colony in the Hades universe. Now, we are introduced to Carla Gugino, who's actually playing multiple characters in this movie, too. We actually see her as this one character called called Massey Walsh, who was actually Yulaw's girlfriend, and a lot of people kind of forgot the fact she was his girlfriend at the time. So she actually helps him escape by, well, a rat. Yeah. She uses a rat with some explosives into it, though. Oh, boy. Yeah. So, as before he gets a chance to be transferred to the other universe, she releases the rat explodes, and when it explodes, the song Down with the Sickness plays. Yeah, that's another thing too. This movie has a lot of actually has a lot of songs from the 2000s. As a matter of fact, here are the songs all in general. Like Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. We have by Drowning Pool. We have the Bodies, which is actually during the opening scene. Sinner, Awake by Godsmack, and Papa Roach has two songs in here too. Last Resort and Blood Brothers. Yeah, why those songs? It's an early 2000s action movie with kung fu. Of course, there's going to be some rock songs into it. Yeah, clearly. Go figure. So, all that aside, we have to hear the song Down with the Sickness play. Barely hear the song. All we hear is the oh wow portion of the song, and then we hear David Draymond singing "Get Up, Get Down with the Sickness," like the main lyric, and he transfers into the other universe. Now, okay, Futch and Futch and Rodecker actually get there, but the problem is it's already too late. The universe is closed. Like the portal is closed. They only had a 30-second window. So, however, Futch is beyond pissed off, but Rodecker's like, don't be mad. We'll get him on the other side. So one place he'll be going right now. And that's in the Cherish universe. The Cherish universe. Hold on, let me find out what the name of the universe is called exactly. Because they don't actually say it in the movie, but it is online exactly what they call the universe. Oh yeah, yeah, the Cherish universe, where we see a bunch, where we see the opening sequence from earlier play again, but this time with L.A. Sheriff's Department, with the L.A. Sheriff's Department. Yeah, LA Sheriff's Department is actually now suiting up and getting the riot gear on. And ironically, one of the criminal that was actually in the other universe, in the Anubis universe where Lawless is from, yeah, that criminal who tossed the knife, he's actually one of the cops now. And they arm up, and we see like a promotional ad for President Bush promoting universal health care. Nice, nice. And in this universe, it's actually a bunch of criminals actually yelling out at this other guy called Ronnie, who is actually saying, you're dead, Ronnie, you piece of shit snitch." Okay, first off, we had Lawless, who was actually a mass murderer, and now we got a snitch in this one. Okay, is the snitch the new guy? Is the snitch the criminal? Is the snitch the guy we're going to be looking at? Well, we get to see Ronnie answer some regular guy. And the cop that's arrested, that's actually putting the cuffs on him, it's Jet Li. It's the other Jet Li character, our other main character, Gabe Law, who's, like I said, he's our other main character. So we have Gabriel Yulaw, which is the psycho who wants to become the one, and we have a cop who is Gabe Law. Okay, I can dig that. I dig it. I can dig it. So they actually do. So the whole thing kind of plays out like it did in the other universe, except Gabe actually snatches the knife out before it actually hits Ronnie, and they do get to the car. We do get to the parking lot. However, he does sense that there's something wrong, but when the lights go out, he tells everybody to scatter before the shots get fired, and they do actually put up a decent shootout. But they're having a bit of a problem with the shooter inside the vent. He's actually able to sense that this person is providing, and he doesn't even know how he's sensing it. So he actually does. He gets an inmate bus and he crashes it into the vent, which actually lets Yulaw spill out. And when he sees Yulaw, he's shocked to actually see it's another him. Like, hey, how you doing? And yeah, I should mention that Yulaw is doing all of his Matrix shit, like like all the jumping around and stuff, and using all the speed and the super strength and everything. Yeah, he's doing all that stuff. While Gabe is just trying to is mostly doing everything to be human as possible. There's a bit of a there's a reason why this is happening though, because of the fact that Gabe actually. Here's the thing: we do find out that Gabe actually has the same abilities as Yulaw, but he's suppressing everything. Yeah, it's kind of a weird transition, but I'll explain later. But I'll explain it a little bit later. So yeah, this time around, like Yulaw actually escapes, and Gabe goes after him. But he actually jumps over the fence, and Gabe actually does jump over the fence too. But it's actually like a 20-foot wall, and well, everybody's just shocked to even find out that Gabe actually made it up there. So yeah, so he makes it over the wall, and Gabe goes, and Yulaw just goes, "Good news is you're not crazy. The bad news, bang! I know what you're thinking. Didn't Gabe have a gun?" Yeah, he dropped the gun when he was trying to make it up there. So yeah, he shoots Gabe, but Fudge and Roadacre actually make it in time to stop Yulaw. So we actually go so we get to Gabe's house and we see TK, again played by the same actress, amongst all things, played by Carla again. So she actually makes her way out the door and she sees Gabe is right there by the door. And he's okay. It's like, honey, I'm okay. Look, honey, I am fine. Like they said you were shot. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was shot. And they checked you out. I checked myself out. Look, my vest caught it. Okay. I'm sorry. I needed to get out of there. All right. My head was driving me nuts. Oy. I should also mention too that she's more than aware of the fact that he has that his strength and his everything else about him is he's smarter, stronger, and faster than he normally is supposed to be, and she's freaked out just as well as he is. They're looking at it as if there's something got to be wrong with him, and he doesn't want to tell her the fact that he doesn't want to tell her about Yulaw. So he does agree with the fact that he's going to have to go back to the hospital to check on the other officers who were actually shot. But before he does, he does like a Tai Chi meditation thing, and at the same time, we find out Yulaw is doing the exact same thing, but he's just shadow boxing on top of the hospital. So I was like, oh shit, yeah, like we know where this is going. So they get to the hospital, and well, Yulaw actually says that he wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the guys who came over to actually who made it over the wall after him. And the cops are and his partners are like, Gabe, we never made it over the wall. Huh? So yeah, he's beyond confused. He has no idea what the hell's going on exactly. and he dismisses the fact that it was dark out, and he just says, and he couldn't give him the description of the suspect because it was dark out. But eventually, he does tell TK that it was actually him the entire time. It's another him. He doesn't even, but not only was it another him, he actually felt his presence. So TK thinks that maybe he needs to get a CAT scan. There's got to be something wrong with him, and maybe this has got to be something to do with it. So he agrees to actually get a CAT scan, and he actually senses Yulaw nearby, but he doesn't know where the hell he is. So after TK calms him down, he actually gets into the CAT scan machine and gets his CAT scanned. But Yulaw comes right into the CAT scan office and is about to kill the doctor. Well, it's kind of funny actually because the guy's like, "Okay, Mr. Law, okay, Mr. Law, you're doing fine. You're doing fine." Donnie, look, I can't chill out with you right now. Look, I gotta finish this guy first. Like, he waited an hour or so before I go on my break. Donnie, Mr. Law, what the hell are you doing here? What? So, I mean, now we gotta start all over again. Wow, what did I do? What the? Yeah. Yep. Well, don't worry, Fudge and Rodecker come in there, and they actually try to stop him before he kills him. Before he kills the orderly. It's like, get on the floor right now. The floor? This is a hospital. The floor is full of germs. Want me to get sick? Bang, bang. So, yeah, they even shoot at him close range, and he actually dodges the bullets close range and ricochets the bullet actually into the glass so he can actually make it to the other room. To actually kill Gabe. But Gabe's quick thinking, and he actually does manage to sneak around. Actually dodge the bullets himself. And while Yulaw actually is about to kill him, but Gabe actually kicks him, and Yulaw loses the gun into the MRI machine. So now, okay, Futch, Futch and Rodecker actually corner Yulaw this time around. And they try to arrest him, but a security guard comes in and disrupts them, and Yulaw actually breaks the MRI machine, gets his gun, and flips over the machine as Futch and Rodecker go around, and he kills the guard. And he kills the security guard and runs out of there. So Futch and Rodecker go after him. They tell Gabe to stay put, but Gabe is like, no, fuck that. He actually gets changed into his overalls, and he goes out too. And now here's the thing: they actually had security footage of Yulaw running away, but TK told them to actually turn the camera back, so they didn't catch Rodecker or Futch at all in the security footage. But if the security guard had kept an eye, if they waited just a few seconds longer, they could see Gabe actually running out of the room. So it's like, yeah, they didn't bother looking at the security footage again, saying, "Okay, it's the security footage. Okay, all right, see nothing more." Hey, wait a minute, is that him again? What do you mean? Play it back again. Okay, so it's you. No, look at the timestamp. What the? Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Just play it back. Now watch it all the way through. Okay, Law leaves. Camera comes back. Wait about a minute later. He comes right out again. What the fuck? There's two of them? How do you do that? That's a fuck up there. Well, they only looked at the security footage again. They could have saw that. So they actually see one of them actually walking around by the cops, and the cops try to subdue that person, and we actually find out it's actually Gabe. He's trying to talk them down, and of course Rodecker's like, you know what? This one's safer in their custody. All right, let's go find Yulaw. So they try to actually arrest Gabe, but here's the thing. Here's a fun fact. Gabe actually trained most of these guys in hand-to-hand combat, so he actually has an upper edge on them. And plus, he's using his strength and ability and his speed against them too. And they're not prepared for his strength at all. And which of course catches Futch and Rodecker's attention. It's like, oh shit, is he doing what I think he's doing? Yeah. And one of the guys actually tries to hold him down with a shotgun. Here's the thing: Gabe takes the shotgun literally right down the middle, mind you, right where the magazine catch and the pump goes, like click, 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 click. Yeah, like down that section here. Gabe from here bends the fucking gun and throws the gun into a Pepsi machine. Yeah, and starts popping out Pepsis. He's supposed to use strength. Okay, folks, this is going to be a bit of a problem. The only problem is that this teacher sucks, sir. So they make it. All right, so eventually Gabe does leave, and Futch and Rodecker split up. Rodecker tells him he'll go after Yulaw, while Futch goes after Gabe. Now he tells Futch if anything happens, he has a grenade on him. So if anything happens to him, once Yulaw is dead, to kill Gabe. Okay, that's okay. So he's gonna go after Yulaw. What's gonna happen there? Yeah, good luck with that one, jackass. By the way, how did son of a bitch get away from? What happened to Yulaw anyway? Well, we'll find him in the coroner's office hiding amongst the bodies. It's like, hey, okay, let's open up this bag. Sip. I'll steal that car over there. So Gabe actually sneaks out via ambulance, and eventually Futch actually catches up to him until Gabe snatches his gun, and actually snatches his gun. So eventually, instead of actually tossing Futch down the flight of stairs, he actually pulls him back up and Futch tells him everything. So yeah, Futch tells him the whole fucking thing about the whole multiverse thing, that there's more than one version of yourself. Yeah, so basically he tells us like the whole kit and caboodle thing. Meanwhile, Yulaw is actually listening to Sinner by Drowning Pool at this point until Rodecker comes out from the back seating, and he goes, huh? Just might find something I like in this universe. Just turn the radio off. Just like old times, eh, buddy? Not exactly, buddy. But yeah, they have a huge back and forth conversation here and there about the whole multiverse thing and how Gabriel is very dismissive of the whole thing. And then we get to the one part I already talked about earlier in the beginning of the movie, which of course is it's like, what do you think would happen to me? Some people think you'll explode. People think you'll implode. Right. Well, you're forgetting one. Some people think you become a god. That's the one. And he starts driving around like a freaking maniac using his super speed. Yeah. So he basically, yeah. So Yulaw crashes the truck, and like he comes out of the car, and he and Rodecker have a bit of a fist fight, but it's extremely one sided. It's kind of like having a normal person fight somebody like Superman. Yeah, it's completely one sided. So yeah, Rodecker gets his ass handed to him, literally. He's tossed around a little bit, smacked around a lot. He even tries using the car door to hit Yulaw, but what happens? He punches his hand right through the thing and throws Rodecker and kicks grabs his stomach, hits it, and pulls it towards the truck door, and just boom, kicks it, and he goes flying like 20 feet in the air. Wow, didn't see that coming. Oh wait, I did. And of course, Rodecker activates the bomb he has. At the same time, at the same time, Gabe actually is done listening to what Futch has to say until he realizes the bomb is actually activated. So back with Rodecker and Yulaw, he goes, first choice, give up. Second choice, die. And keep this in mind, Yulaw is like 15 feet away from him. So what does he do? Using his super speed, he actually grabs both Rodecker's hand and his throat, and he goes, third choice, crack, and takes the bomb away. Yeah. He does something to the bomb that makes it actually think it went off, and okay, Futch actually sees the device may have went off, but using it, and he's about to kill Gabe, but when Gabe turns around, he realizes that nothing is happening, so he realizes that Futch is all alone, and it's just him, Yulaw, Gabe. And he wants to try to help Gabe. Gabe doesn't want his help at all, so he just walks away. And what does Yulaw do? Well, a couple of cops do come nearby and try to arrest him, and he goes, Don't you people ever learn? And I should mention there are two motorcycle cops. He actually, using his super strength, mind you, and super speed, he actually stops the bike, jumps up in the air, and actually kicks both the cops in midair. And then using the motorcycles, actually smacks them around like a bunch of rag dolls. And the one cop who comes out of the cop car, he grabs the other bike and oh, another fun fact too. This guy, he's like what 5 feet away from him, shoots him point blank in the face, but the bullet just, well, of course, but Yulaw just dodges the bullet. Vroom, boom, with the motorcycles. Hmm. Walks into the cop car, drives away. This guy's making the Flash look like a fucking pussy at this point with all the super speed he's pulling off. So we eventually go back to Gabe's house and we see that there's actually somebody there. TK realizes somebody there and she suspects it's Gabe. And of course, we assume it's Gabe. That is until we see Gabe on the outside the house on top of somebody's garage, and we realize it's Yulaw. And Yulaw threatens TK if she doesn't give him the gun, he will kill her. And she doesn't actually give him the gun, but he actually comes down the vent real fast, grabs the gun, actually kills a cop who actually happens to be Gabe's best friend. And of course, he tries his best to get there in time, but Yulaw shoots and kills TK right there in front of him, not giving a shit. And he tries to kill Gabe, but the cops get there beforehand and they try to shoot at him. He dodges, runs right out the window, and of course, Gabe tries to go after him, but the cops think it's still him. So, yeah. So at this point, Ulos has basically ruined this guy's life by killing his wife and everything. So this guy is just hell bent on becoming the one, becoming a god by doing anything and killing anybody who gets in his way. He doesn't care anymore. What an asshole. Hmm. Hey Joe, you might as well put Eula on the A list. Okay, okay, all that joking aside, Futch actually meets up with Gabe, and of course, Gabe actually keeps smashing the dashboard to the point where he almost breaks the damn thing. But of course, Futch calms him down, and well, once Gabe's calmed down, he tells him exactly how he met TK, which of course was bringing in a dog who was hit by a car. So yeah, she's actually a vet, and of course, he met her by bringing in an injured dog who got hit by a car, and it was love at first sight. And he also tells him about life and balance and being a pure circle in life. TK was his circle, and now she's gone, and he wants to kill Yulaw now. Nice one, jack off you. You want to become the one? You got somebody anymore? You got someone just as powerful as you. Pissed off. Nice one, jerk off. Now, eventually, eventually they do come up with a bit of a plan. They actually find out exactly where Yulaw is going to be. So Futch tells him we have a bit of a plan, but if anything, that if he dies, then he has to kill Gabe too. But there's also another problem. If Yulaw dies, there's a possible chance the whole universe goes along with him, which pisses off Gabriel, which of course pisses off Gabe. In fact, he actually kicks a freaking lamppost out of nowhere, right in front of a gas station, and the gas station attendant is actually Rodecker. Well, it's actually one of Rodecker's variants. So before Futch and Gabe leave, Futch actually goes up to the variant and tells him what he never actually got a chance to tell Rodecker, which is kind of nice. But of course, this guy doesn't have no idea what the hell he's talking about. So yeah. So they get to a factory where they actually find out where Yulaw is, and Gabe can sense that Yulaw is there, so he tells Futch to be ready. And of course, Yulaw runs away from them until Futch's watch activates and says that the bomb's about to go off. Okay, there he is. Beep, 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 beep. Oh shit! Boom! Okay, keep this in mind. You want to know how big the bomb is? It's like about that size. And when it goes off, it takes almost a chunk of the factory with it. What the fuck? So Futch and Gabe get separated until Yulaw finds Futch and nearly beats the shit out of him and almost beats him to death. until Gabe comes in and actually challenges Yulaw to fight him. And now, well, we have now the greatest fight of the century, early 21st century, Jet Li versus Jet Li. Yulaw takes his the top of his overalls off and fights his good variants. And it's somewhat of a one-sided fight a little bit, though. They're pretty much on equal terms, going back and forth with speed and super strength. But the problem is, Gabe is actually of course, trying to kill him, and of course, so is Yulaw. But the thing is, Yulaw has been doing this for a long time, and he's used to actually using his power, using his strength and speed, while Gabe has been suppressing it the entire time, and he's trying to unleash all of it, though. But he's not in full control of it. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem. But give him some credit, he is trying here. So, so of course the fight goes back and forth here and there. But basically, in the end, it comes down to the fact where Yula actually does a dragon punch, which is basically this movement, like lunging himself forward and doing this dragon fist, the double dragon fist technique on Gabe, forcing him into a machine against the machine, and he plops dead, and he thinks he's won. It's like, yeah. Until Gabe lets out a gas of air, like, oh, fuck. Gabe looks at his finger where his wedding ring was, and he realizes that he can't use brute force against Yulaw. So he gets right back into a fighting stance. But here's the thing: Gabe and Yula were both using the style of Baji Kwa style, mixed in with a little Sanda here and there. But that's not, but since they're using the exact same techniques, and Yula has been using this for a long time now. And he's using his speed and strength, his power on it, or with his fighting style. Gabe realizes that he's been suppressing his fighting style, all of his power, with Tai Chi. So he switches from hard to soft. He starts going Tai Chi mode at this point. So basically, the final fight of the movie is basically like a remake of the Tai Chi Master, aka Twin Warriors, which is a kung fu film I gotta review one day. Which, yes, I do have a copy of the movie. I just have to review it someday. All right. Well, to be fair, it's not just Tai Chi; it's also traditional Wu Tzu as well. So yeah, Yulaw is basically trying to strike him, but Gabe is dodging. Is basically doing his Tai Chi motion, and of course he's parrying and dodging every strike, every maneuver that Yulaw is tossing at him. So basically, he actually found out how to unlock his power. While Yulaw is using full strength and his martial and using aggressive movements on him, Gabe found out if he uses his peaceful style, it's actually drawing out all of his strength and speed, and which gave him the upper advantage, which is something that Yulaw hasn't done in years. So he's like completely outclassed at this point. All right, and while Yulaw is trying his best trying to hit him, he can't even touch him at this point. So yeah, Gabe is smacking him around, chucking him around like a fucking ragdoll at this point. Anyway, we get back to Fudge. And he gets out his device and he finds out there's a wormhole about to open in less than a couple of minutes. So he limps his way. So he crawls and limps his way to the to where the portal's going to be. And he tells Yulon he tells Gabe they have to be ready. So, and of course, the fight basically comes to an end where Yulaw actually grabs a fire axe and tries to use it on Yulaw, tries to use it on Gabe, and while Gabe kicks it out of Yulaw's hands and just almost hits him in the head with it. But rather than kill him, he actually grabs him actually holds the axe right by Yulaw's throat and drags him to where the portal's going to be. An explosion occurs exactly where Gabe gets on fire, but he actually throws Yulaw to the spot where he needs to be, and he rips the top portion of his overalls off. And when that happens, the machine teleports them. They get teleported right back to the Alpha universe. in the Alpha universe, one of the one of the laws actually tells them it's that guy. They have to put into the portal. They have to put in the colony. Anyway, Fudge actually gets up and limps his way over to the law that they're actually about to take away. He sees that there's a mark on the ring finger, and he realizes it's Gabe Law. And he goes, "No, stop! That's Gabe Law. That's you, Law, right there, the one on the floor." They're both completely weak from the fight and from the teleportation. So they actually grab you. So they get Gabe off the chair and actually put Yula on the chair and gets teleported straight to the Hades universe. The director actually says that that Gabe can't leave the facility, and they have to send him back. The Fudge completely objects to the idea because they'll lock up Gabe for life, and he might get the death sentence. And no matter what he says, the director doesn't want to hear it. They have to preserve balance within the universe, within the multiverse somewhere. And of course, well, Fudge is literally about to punch the guy. Actually, looks like he's about to punch him. But Gabe calms him down and says, "Fudge, it doesn't really matter at this point. Yulaw's gone. Okay, what happens to me doesn't really matter." So they were about to actually put him on the chair, but of course, he tells him that he, of course, gets him off of him, and he walks onto the chair himself. But Fudge does something that nobody thought he would ever do. He realizes what Gabe said earlier, and he actually changes the coordinates. He doesn't go back to the Martis universe, to the Martis. I mean, to the what was it? The Cherish universe. He doesn't go back to the Cherish universe, but instead he sends it to a completely different universe that's identical. That sends it to a completely different universe. I checked. Okay, I thought it was based on the same universe, but it's not. So what happens is that so when Gabe gets teleported, he's sent to a completely different universe that's identical to the one he was in beforehand, but it's completely identical to the one he was actually in. It's the only difference is he's not even in that universe. So he has a chance to start over again. And ironically, he sees the same dog that used to be his dog from the other universe. And it's actually supposed to be the same dog anyway. It got hit by a car, so he picks it up and he takes the dog to the vet, which is actually nearby. And he asks the vet to actually take a look at him, and it's Carla again. Yeah. So yeah, it's another variant. So here's the thing: it's not TK. It's actually this variant is called Carla, and apparently she's another variant. She's basically another variant of TK, but it's basically what happened earlier. So it's basically he's starting his life all over again. So basically, he's starting his life all over again. So yeah. So I'm pretty sure Gabe Law is going to actually do well in this universe, even though he doesn't actually exist in it, though. But he has to make ends meet. So okay, works for me. I'm pretty sure the MVA is going to come back down there to check on him and actually help him get a job. Good luck with that. But what the hell happens with Law? Well, he's actually in the Hades prison colony, and everybody's looking at him like, "Oh, we got fresh fish. Yeah, he got a pretty mouth too." He walks up this. He walks up this freaking up this pyramid, and he goes, "My name is Yula. Nobody's bitch. I don't need to know you. You need to know me. You know what I'm going to be? I will be the one." And they all start to fight him, and they all get their asses kicked. Yeah, the whole movie ends with like Yula fighting all these prisoners, and the song "Last Resort" by Papa Roach is playing in the background. Oh, the movie just ends like that, and the whole camera just zooms out, and you see everybody trying to come up the fucking pyramid after him. Oh, lightning strike hits, and we finally get the goddamn credits. Oh my god! Just give me a second here. Oh my god! Oh, and that was the one, folks. Oh my god! Is it actually? Is it a good movie? Oh, it is not. It's entertainingly though. It's very entertaining though. I'll give it this much. It's sort of forgettable, but the idea of the whole multiverse thing is actually, well, it actually came first in this movie before it became a major thing. They just didn't know what the hell they were doing with it at the time. But the idea of actually of a variant going around killing other variants and the energy and the life energy that it divides amongst the survivors, making them stronger and faster. Wow, wow, that's actually the makings of a comic book character right there, and it's not owned by anybody's property. Hmm. Well, anything the movie's okay, but okay, there's I'm pretty sure there's a comic book line right there, but hey, what the hell? Who knows? Maybe we'll find. Maybe we could probably do something with that later on. Hmm. Yeah, I could probably think of a comic book character to come up with that entire idea. But anyways, what do I think of this movie? Is it great? No, it's not great. It's entertaining though. But do I recommend people watching it? Yeah, if you're a Jet Li fan, give it a watch. If you're an early 2000s fan, action movie fan, give it a watch. If you like all the Matrix shit, give it a watch. If you want something that has nothing to do with Marvel or DC, for God's sake, give this a watch. I mean, seriously, the way Yulaw does all of his abilities puts the Flash to shame, huh? And pretty much every MCU character to fucking shame as well, too. Which is ridiculous. But look, all joking aside, the idea of actually having a variant that going around killing other variants of himself, making himself stronger to become a god, is of course an original concept that nobody even thought about using. And does it work? Well, sort of. Yeah, it sort of works, but they didn't fully execute it properly, though. Now, I know what you're thinking. Fearox Frank, what would you do if you had a chance to make this movie? Well, if I had a chance to make this movie, I would mostly concentrate on Gabe Law's character. Yeah. As for the whole thing, all the scenes with Yulaw, make it look like a dream sequence for him. Make it all seem like it's a dream sequence that he's seeing this one person, seeing himself killing all these other variants of himself, and make him think that it's a nightmare. That he's having a series of nightmares, but he's getting stronger and he has no idea what the hell's going on until we get to the portion of the movie which we know is coming up, which is, well, you know, and of course, well, here's the But the key difference for my version is that Gabe, as he's going through all the motions, you start to see his head go, "Wait, why is this? No, 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 no," because it's like deja vu all over again. Okay, it's okay, Arani. You'll be okay. What? You're all right? Yeah, yeah. Sorry, just have a strange case of deja vu. Okay, you'll be fine. Yeah, just had the whole thing focused on Gabe Law's character, not you Law this time around. Because it got a little confusing for a while though. And then, but when Fletch actually tells him the story, we actually have a flashback sequence, and we actually see Law killing all of the other Law characters. So we actually see all the murders actually happen and how gruesome he actually of a bastard he is. So yeah, that's how I would have done the movie. But the idea of him having Gabe go into another universe was probably the same set of people. But the thing is, nobody knows who the hell he is. I would have ended it like that. I probably would have actually had like Fudge actually that while they actually send him back to his universe, there's actually a time displacement they can actually do where they can jumpstart it, and he goes back maybe a week prior, and all the events that actually happened didn't actually happen. That's how I probably would have done the movie, particularly. Well, anyway, that's how I would have done my version of the one. But as for this movie, it did it its way in. Well, to be fair, it wasn't a huge hit at the box office, but it was. But now it's basically considered a cult film. All right, if you're a Jet Li fan and a martial arts fan, I recommend you give this movie a watch. Is it better than most other multiverse films and better than anything that the fucking Marvel TVA is in? What the fuck do you think? Of course it's better. It's short and straight to the fucking point. Not to mention, half these MVA guys actually make the TVA look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Well, that being said and done, what film am I going to review next week? I don't know. I might do a Schwarzenegger film. I might do a horror film. I might just do a superhero film. I might do another. I might do a monster film. I don't know particularly. Oh, wait. I see a monster film here on my shelf that I actually have my possession for a long time, and I never had a chance to review it. It's been years since I did it. But there's also a submarine film here I want to review too. You know what? I'll take a toss up between these two movies. If I do one, then maybe I'll do the following one the following week. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Ferox Frank Reviews. Tune in next week, and it will be this coin flip between the two of them. So, until then, Ferox Frank,